Scrappy, hard-working, aggressive, and baseball instincts. Words explaining how at 5'9", 160 pounds, Wally Backman made such an impact as a player that he is still remembered and appreciated by baseball fans today.
Well, Wally Backman is still, pretty much a legend in New York because of the '86 Mets, and he spent 10 years in New York, and he was, a loved player because of the way he played, the scrappy style and everything.
He's just an integral part of our '86 team, a competitor, a hard-nosed player, played the game the way it should be played, and really one of the key guys responsible for our '86 championship.
Great teammate, he's going to be a heck of a manager in the big leagues one of these days.
It's going way back, but it was fun, exciting. There was a lot of speed. I had a lot of speed as a young kid. I had a good career in high school. I didn't think I was going to be a #1 pick myself because of my size.
But sure enough, it was the size of his heart that mattered most. Backman led the Mets with a .320 average in 1986, then batted .333 as the Mets won one of the most memorable World Series.
I mean, in '86 they had a great team because they won the World Series. That's what we tried to do.
It was a great team. Not only was it a great team, we had great chemistry. We were really it was more like a family. I remember they used to try to call the Pirates a family. I think that's what we kind of had. A lot of us guys played with each other in the minor leagues and came up, and Frank Caston did a great job putting the team together the way he did, going out and getting Hernandez and Carter and guys like that, to surround the young talent with those veteran type guys.
I think they had just tremendous characters on that team between Hernandez, Carter, Gooden, Strawberry, Backman. They had a lot of characters, and then the way that they won it, they were a dominant team all season, and then they won, arguably the most dramatic World Series ever, and everyone remembers Buckner, and there's so many memorable things about that season. I think that's why they captivated the nation.
We have functions and stuff that celebrate the team and what we were able to accomplish, and yeah, those guys, we're like a big family. So every year goes by, guys get older and things happen, but we always manage to stay in touch and see each other probably once or twice a year, and it's a great group of guys.
Soon Backman began to think of the years ahead of him and the opportunity to stay in baseball.
I thought about it as I was playing towards the later part of my career, but I thought about it. That's when I really tried to study the game a little bit more. I had quality managers, especially in the end with Leland and Lou Piniella. I had two of the best managers, I think, that are still in the game.
November 1st, 2005, Backman's managerial success at the minor league level rewarded in a press conference in Arizona. He dons the Diamondbacks jersey.
We will make some changes and this team will compete.
Backman's reign, 4 days. His previous 2 arrests and financial struggles are reported. The Diamondbacks refused to stand by their hire.
It was a nightmare. I've been through it all with HBO and everybody, but I'm trying to put it in my past now and go forward, but it was an unfortunate situation. There was a lot of half-truths to some of the things that happened. It's definitely affected my career. That's in the past now, and I'm trying to go forward. So I put that behind myself now, and I'm trying to go forward again.
The first step for Wally, reassessing his goals. Once a candidate for several major league managerial openings, Wally now considered all opportunities, including one with a brand new independent league with a team in Albany, Georgia.
He was a candidate for the job at the Mets before he took the Diamondbacks job, and I think a lot of people wanted to see that. I think it says a lot about him that he's willing to come to, a low-level independent baseball to try to rebuild it. Obviously, this is not what he's been accustomed to in the last few years of his managerial career, so this is a step back for him, but he's willing to do it to try to prove, to the major league executives that he's a good manager and, he'd be a good fit for their team.
What was your first step on moving forward?
Actually, I guess I would say it's coming here. I was out of the game for 2 years. I was so bored to death. I was fortunate to be able to watch my son play a little bit in the Rangers organization. So I look at that as a positive note to where I could work with him a little bit more and try to help him get better. I built a restaurant because I was so bored. I finally sold it. Now I'm here. So being here in Georgia is a good thing. I think it's a step in the right direction.
Oh, I mean, it's going to be huge. I mean, Wally, he is And this has been said, you know, by several people within the league already, and anybody here will tell you that he is the marquee manager in the South Coast League right now, and he is the name that I think are going to put a lot of fans in the seat, at least initially, and then, you know, obviously when they start winning, which I think everyone here in Albany right now believes that they're going to do. They've taken a pretty solid look at all the talent and everything that he's brought in, and, you know, Wally's just not just taking anybody.
With news of Backman headed to the Peanuts, several players with loose connections to the skipper suddenly improved the South Coast League talent pool.
I was looking for some teams. I had some teams calling, and I found out that Wally was coaching here, so I was like, hey, I'm going to play for Wally, because I played for him before. He has good intensity, and he's just a great coach, and he knows a lot about the game. He knows how to win.
I played ball with Wally's son out with the Texas Rangers for a couple of years. He was my roommate. Got a chance to spend a couple nights at Wally's house, and we built a relationship. And he asked me to come out and play, and I said, no problem. He's very outgoing. Most important, he's up front. He tell you just like it is. And basically, you play hard for him. From what I hear, you get a chance to play.
With the 47-year-old skipper starting from ground zero in independent ball, it is hard to say whether Wally Backman will ever return to the big leagues.
It's a boys club, you know, and when you're out, which, you know, Wally was out with what happened in 2004, it's hard to get back in. So, you know, he's got a lot of friends in baseball, so maybe somebody will give him a chance. I think he deserves another chance, so, you know, we'll see what happens.
Oh yeah, Wally's got a unique style. You know, he plays hard, and you know, he works with the players. He wants that same attitude and expects that, and that's why he's going to be successful. And you know, he's had a good run in the past, and you know, unfortunate things happened with him in Arizona, but you know, the bottom line is he's back coaching, managing, and he's going to be fine.
From the bright lights of the Big Apple to the red clay of Albany, Georgia, Wally Backman seeks redemption and a chance to return to the big leagues.